ride. Power to the people we shine. Making fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the...
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Right along live. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday on the ride. Audio check. Yeah, everything check. Okay. Listen, as you guys come in, I want you to share the program right now because today we're going to have a discussion. We have a lengthy discussion, all right? So share it. And this discussion, guys, I want your input on it. I really want you guys to contribute to this because change is hard. It's never easy to enact change, right? But I do believe by taking on this conversation, by having this conversation go far and wide, that we would start to enact change. And furthermore, it would give me an opportunity to explain a situation that I believe has been really, I think is one of the core things, as small or as insignificant as some people think it is. I think it's one of the core things, right, that needs to be fixed now, that is problematic and has been problematic for many, many years. Now, a lot of people may not understand where I'm coming from, so I urge and plea and hope that these people engage in this conversation so I could further explain the situation and why I decided today to pen an open letter to the customs in Grenada, especially operating from the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Now, I had a situation that I'm going to explain in full details. Because I wrote an op-ed earlier today on the page, and I try my best to explain it to people, but a lot of people still don't understand. So I think it's best that we engage in this conversation here tonight. All right? Share the program, guys. Share the program. Lydia Louisan, how you doing? Thank you so much for watching. Nice. As you guys can see, I'm back in lovely, beautiful Grenada, where my mic is kind of low, so it needs to be better. Put my mic right here so I don't have to shout. Nice, yeah. So I'm back in lovely Grenada, where it's the Isle of Spice and everything is nice. Beautiful weather. And just an amazing day today. Terry, thank you so much. Reginald Amade, how you doing? Thank you so much for sharing the program. And guys, do me a favor too, so that this program reach everybody, right? I want everybody to at followers. So just add followers. Let me get it here. Yeah. Add followers so that everybody will get an opportunity to check out the conversation. Let me do it now. I want everybody to watch this. Tag somebody that you know work in immigration or customs. Tag the Prime Minister. I tagged him earlier. Tag everybody, guys. Tagging everybody. I don't care. Tagging everybody. Veronica Sandy, how you doing? And I'll add followers too. Let me do it now. Vanessa, thank you so much. Welcome home. I am happy to be back home once again. Oh, I'm a little bit dark. Okay, I'm gonna fix that just now. I'm gonna fix that just now. Okay, apologize. Let me go here. Where's it? I just shared it. All right, hold on. I know I just shared it. I'm looking for it now. I'm not seeing it. Hold on, guys. Oh, here we go. It's a little bit dark in truth, boy. It's a little bit dark in truth. All right, so let me do this, guys. So I'm gonna turn up the light a little bit. Keep sharing. Let me turn up the light a little bit so you guys get to see more and more and more and more. That should be good. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's better, right? Nice. Highlight and followers. All right. How you doing? Followers, yeah, okay. Add followers. Nice. Okay, guys, so let me get right into it. The topic today. The topic today is a story that I want to share that I personally feel that needed to be discussed a long time ago. Now, 15 years ago, guys, 15 years ago, I arrived back into Grenada, right? After many years, I was away, right? Came back in. And on arriving to Grenada at 15, 16 years ago, somewhere around that time there, I remember coming in and I was happy to come home. I was very, very ecstatic to reach back. And as I came into the airport, I remember this custom officer that I gave the paper to after I cleared immigration and everything like that. This custom officer took the paper and asked me how long I'm staying or how long I intend to stay. Now, from 15 years ago, I never understood that question, because I said to myself, well, why are you asking me that? But I said, I don't know. I'm here for a while. I really didn't honestly know. Fast forward to last year. Same occurrence. So from 15 years ago to last year, the same practice continued, never stopped. And I spoke about it here on a program last year where I advised custom officers to get better training. I advised people at the airport, not immigration officers, because I have to make it clear, not immigration officers, custom officers, right? Last year, it was the same situation. Asking a fellow Grenadian, someone with a Grenadian passport. I came in with a Grenadian passport. I'm not a foreigner to Grenada. I'm not visiting Grenada. The same question was asked last year. So let's fast forward to yesterday. Yesterday, I came back in one more time. I'm always back and forth. Came back in yesterday. The same person, the same individual, his name is Batiste, right? Batiste is his last name. Custom Officer Batiste. It's the same guy that approached me last year. When I asked him, I said, listen, sir, don't ask Grenadians that question, how long they stay, because it is disrespectful. I am a Grenadian, right? I gave you my Grenadian passport. You saw that my Grenadian credentials. It's irrelevant to ask me how long I'm staying. Furthermore, I don't even know how long I'm staying because I came in a one way. I don't know how long I stayed. Yesterday, the same officer as I came in, Batiste, approached me. Well, I approached him because I went to present my documents. Came in there. I had 2 suitcases and a pull along and a bag on my back. Same Batiste guy came up asking me how long I intend to stay. I said, sir, all due respect, don't ask me that question again. And furthermore, it is disrespectful, as I told you before, to ask anybody from Grenada coming in to Grenada that is Grenadian how long they staying. Right? It is disrespectful to do that. He said, he make a big stoops and he sent me to the red line. Now, I don't care going to the red line because, listen, if you want to send me to the red line, send me to the red line. But it was because that I stood up to this question that I was sent to the red line. And that was the reason that I was sent there. Went to the red line. Probably he winked to the person that was, the other officer that was there, winked to the person or whatever. And let me tell you, I've never been searched, not my physical person, but my suitcase have never been searched so thorough yet in my life. My suitcase and everything on me, my bags, was never searched so thoroughly yet. And let me tell you, they searched down to my underwear in my suitcase. Everything. Fine. In my bags, I had 3 fire sticks. I had about 12 shirts that I would wear and some of my staff would wear. And I explained that to the individual. I had something for my bike, a few brakes for my bike. Not an elaborate set of brakes, probably about 5 brakes, right? And something else. And that was the premise to which the custom officer decided to charge me. So they charge the value of the fire stick, the value of the shirts that I have, the value of everything that I have, and they charge me for that. Again, I am not even too concerned about they charging me. I am more concerned that I, as a Grenadian, is being asked that question. So going to the search, I asked the gentleman, the lady that was searching my stuff. I said, let me speak to your supervisor. She brought in a supervisor. Her supervisor name is Greenwich. Female supervisor, Greenwich, at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Now, I encountered Greenwich before, because get this. The time before that I came back, I met Greenwich. And Greenwich asked me the same question. Greenwich asked me, the last time I was here, how long I was staying. I said, Greenwich, why? Is that like a thing? Like, why are you asking me that? You're not supposed to, you can't ask a Grenadian, Greenwich, how long they staying. Greenwich, the supervisor. Greenwich then said to me, as a supervisor, this is how it's done all over the world. She said, to justify the action, she said, and get this was the most hilarious thing. Greenwich, the supervisor, said, when she go to other countries, right? Get this. When she go to other countries, she get asked the same question and she don't have a problem with the question. Now, first and foremost, at face value, Greenwich, and to the custom officers and to the people, of course, if you travel to the United States, if you travel anywhere in the world and you're not a citizen of that country, they should, they must ask you how long you stay in. I try to explain to Greenwich, the female officer, who should know better, by the way, because she's a supervisor. Greenwich should know better because she is a supervisor. Trying to justify that when she travel to other places around the world, she get asked the same question. Now, how does that make sense? If anybody's traveling, if anyone is traveling to the United States and you're not a United States citizen, you will be asked how long you stay. They would basically give you a time. You get 6 months, right? That's the time. You can't go over that time, right? If you're traveling to Barbados or any other country because I travel regularly. I'm always someplace. I try to explain to Greenwich, if someone coming from Carriacou, would you ask them how long they're staying? She said no. She wouldn't ask them what time, how long they staying, because she would know if SVG Air came in, and she would know them people and them come from Carriacou and all kind of nonsense. Now, how does that make sense? So if you have two flights that came in, one from Carriacou, one from Carriacou, and one from JetBlue, how do you know who came from Carriacou and how do you know who came from JetBlue? The simple fact is that it is nonsensical, it is idiotic, it is insulting to ask, and it makes no sense, by the way, to ask a fellow Grenadian, and I'm trying to explain that to the female supervisor, Greenwich. She didn't understand, she didn't get it. Furthermore, she said she see nothing wrong with the question. She have no problem with asking a Grenadian how long she's staying. So therein lies the problem. The problem is not Batiste. The problem was not Batiste. The problem was Greenwich, because she's the superior over him. Now, I wanted to understand what is the policy, the full policy of that. And I've spoken to many in the hierarchy of customs. I've spoken to people as far as in the ministerial level. What they explained to me, guys, is that is absolutely not a criteria that a Grenadian, a returning national, should be asked. But what Greenwich and Batiste and all of these people, what they're trying to ascertain, that what they're trying to find out is simple, right? They're trying to look at it like, okay, if you come with 2 bags, they want to ask you that question so that they could determine, okay, if you have 2 bags and you're only staying 2 weeks, then you probably have too much bags, so you're probably carrying something, right? That is the analogy that they're trying to figure out. So it's a culture of disrespect, right? To find that out, you would ask this question to determine if they have too much bags based on the time that they're staying. But there's many other ways to figure that out. There could be a rhythmic system. There could be some sort of odd and even system to determine who goes to the red line and who don't go to the red line. So I've spent the entire day today. And some people might say, why am I wasting my energy on this? This is not wasting energy. Because I think I speak for every single Grenadian that feels that when you leave North America in the cold and you work night and day to fly the flag of Grenada, no special privilege. I don't need any special privilege. I come in just like everybody else. I go through immigration just like everybody else. I scan my passport just like everybody else. I don't need any special privilege. But at least when we leave and we come down to Grenada, we want to feel like we are returning home. We want to feel like we are returning back to Iraq. If you live in your house and I'm in your house and you come back to your house, I cannot ask you how long you intend to stay in your house. Plain and simple, easy like that. So I spent the better part of today, guys, penning letters to the authorities so that they could make a drastic change to this policy. And let me give you a taste of one of the letter that I wrote today. First, it was an open letter. Then I wrote an additional list of letters to the Controller of Customs, to the Prime Minister of Grenada, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And this is what I would like to see change. I tell you, change it could be hard, right? You have to really stand firm, because already the criticism that I'm getting, people saying, well, when you go other places and they're asking you that, you don't have nothing to say, but you come in Grenada and you want to act like if nobody can tell you nothing. It's not about that. And for the people who jump up and say that, that's idiotic as well. That is stupid to think. Because when I go to another place, when I go to Africa, when I go to Aruba, when I go to any one of these places, then people are they're damn right to ask me how long I'm staying. And I would tell them I plan to stay 2 weeks, 1 week. When I go to anywhere else in the world to visit Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, they're damn right to ask me how long I stayed. They have to ask me that. It's their right to ask me that. And I have to answer. I plan to stay this time, that time, and that time. So for the people who say, I'm raising my blood pressure over nothing, this is plain and simple idiotic. And I shouldn't worry about it. I stand firm on my 10 toes on this one. And I'm going to make sure that changes are made, not just for me, but for every returning national, every person who leave the United States, who leave Canada, who live anywhere, who live Carriacou and come on by air to Grenada, don't get asked this question. So here's what I am demanding and asking, and will make sure that it happens. I'm demanding immediate seizure of the harassment and disrespect. I want respectful treatment of all Grenadian travelers. I want fair application and proper training for custom regulators and custom officers, and a public statement addressing these issues, detailing the corrective action. So things have to be done. Things must be done. These officers who are not immigration officers. I'm not speaking about immigration officers. I have no problem with immigration officers. Let me make that very clear. Immigration officers, they are the only one who have the right to hold your passport, to take your passport, to hold onto your passport. These paper pushers, I mean, the custom officers, that's all they do. They pick your paper up and they decide if you're going in this line or that line, right? They shouldn't touch your passport because they're not immigration officers. They are custom officers. That's what they do, right? I have no problem with immigration officers. The immigration process is seamless. It's fast. And the best set of people that you meet are immigration officers at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. No problem with them. Absolutely. They're the best. My problems are with the custom officers. So I want to bring in a guest. My friend Django is always a voice of reason. And if I'm going over the deep end, Django will kind of bring me back in a bit. So let me bring in Django, bring up his audio a bit, and let's have this conversation here. Django, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good as always. 100%.
So
Yes.
am I overreacting here? Or do you understand what I'm trying to convey or I'm trying to do here? Give me your assessment of this.
No, I'm fully aware. I understand the situation clearly, and it is something that should not happen, especially when you're dealing with Grenadian nationals that is coming home. They want to have as peaceful as a process can be. They want to come home and feel at home. They don't want to feel that burden of intrusion or disrespect, if you want to call it that. So when you're coming home as a Grenadian national, all they want to hear is "Welcome home, sir. Enjoy your holiday." None of all the other talk about how long you're coming to stay and these things, because it sends the wrong message. It creates an invisible barrier. It appears as if you're in another person's place, so to speak.
Proper.
It appears as if you're in another person's place when you're coming home, and the courtesy that should be extended is "Welcome home, sir. We hope you enjoy your stay." Nothing beyond that.
And how difficult is that? How difficult? Nobody had to enact that legislation to tell you that.
Yeah, and not only that, you see, if the individuals that are performing those duties are aware with what's happening globally and socially, someone like yourself should be treated with a level of courtesy, not favoritism, but they understand that you're one of the persons that's out there selling Grenada as a good place. You have international reach. You've contributed in terms of business and so forth, and you're bringing the country to the international scene. They should have a level of understanding that this gentleman is not a lawbreaker. He's a law-abiding citizen, and he is here to promote our country. So let us give him some courtesy. Let us extend some courtesy to the gentleman. So
I welcome all the questions the questions that you guys have. I saw you guys had some questions there. I thought, I looked at some of the questions. I'd be like, I thought that person was at least smart. But some of the questions I saw earlier, I don't know where all your brain went on vacation. But this question here, this person is asking, how about if a born Grenadian, you're born Grenadian, but you became a U.S. citizen, should immigration ask you the same question? Now listen, first and foremost. At the point in time when you arrive and you reach and you present your paperwork to customs, they have no information if you're American, if you are second citizen of wherever. They don't know your paperwork. They don't know what passport you carry. All they know that you present a Grenadian document. That is what it is, a legitimate Grenadian document. Now, if I came into Grenada and I came in with a U.S. passport and I presented the U.S. passport, right? It's fine for the young man to ask me how long I'm staying, because I present myself as an American citizen. But apart from that, if I am coming in and present myself as a Grenadian, how are you? Do you know what citizenship I hold? Do you know what paperwork I have? Do you know what other passport I have? You don't know about you don't know about my business. You don't know nothing about my business. You should. What give you any inclination that I am American or Canadian or wherever? I am telling you I'm a Grenadian. This is the issue. This is the problem now. So when people are asking this question, okay, well, he might think that you are also an American. Think what? What are you thinking? You're not getting paid to think about that, to mind people's business. You getting paid to take the paperwork and decide if they go in here or they go in there and do your job, and not ask questions like that irritate people. You understand? Right? So that question, and I see a lot of it. People asking the question, well, Junior, well, he know you're not in Grenada. He know that you're in America. How you know that? How do you know that last for the year? I was in Grenada for 6 months straight. You know, it's like a vacation in America. I'm here. I have business here. I have business interests here. I am here more than any place else in the world. You know what I mean?
It's I think it's a situation where the Ports Authority would have to probably guide the employees accordingly. Let them know that Grenadian nationals, especially born Grenadians, especially a born Grenadian, should not have to go through any hassle in returning home in terms of questioning that may just appear to frustrate the individual, because you don't know what day you're having. I remember one time last year, August, I came from Trinidad and I was stripped and searched coming home.
Wow.
Stripped and searched by customs.
Where?
At Point Celine. I was stripped and searched at Point Celine, and I was saying to myself, well, I don't understand why, but I cooperated. They didn't ask me how long I intend to stay.
Okay.
But all my bags were stripped and searched, and then I was eventually charged for some uniforms that I brought in from Trinidad and Tobago. But I didn't have an issue with it. But you asking a Grenadian how long he's going, it's like your mother asking you as a visiting son from the US, how long you staying here, boy? It sends a bad signal. It's like they don't really want you here. Don't come and overstay your time here.
Yeah.
So that's why it's sending. It may not be necessarily the truth, but it's just not what you want to hear as a returning Grenadian to your place of birth, your homeland. Because no matter how long you stay in the US, you are born Grenadian, you are Grenadian. You're a natural Grenadian. So it's not the best thing to hear on your return to your place of birth.
Absolutely. So Roderick say, I present my American passport more than once and we're never asked that question. You see? So listen, guy. There's another question too that I wanted to bring up. Now, I'm not saying that this happens every day. I'm telling you what happened to me 3 times. The question was asked to me 3 times in 1 year. 3 times in 1 year. Twice by the same individual. Right? Twice by the same individual. And I don't even mind as much that they brought me and they searched me and they charged me, Charge me? I mean, it's building the economy. That's what I do. I'm here. I'm buying stuff. Okay, I pay. You feel you need to charge me for the tree fire stick? Make your money. I mean, it goes into the coffers of the country. Fine, no problem. I am more seriously hurt and bothered by that question. Without a doubt, that is what's irking me, and I think that it's a serious thing, guys. This is not a joke. This is not a skit. This is a serious disrespect. This is a serious disrespect. I had someone call me the first time that I addressed this issue. This lady said to me, she said, Junior, that's why I haven't gone back to Grenada in such a long time, because I came in and they go ask me how long I staying. It's keeping people back. Who wants to come in and hear that? You understand?
Yeah.
It's a heightened level of disrespect. We're also going to open up the phone line, 718-701-5720. I want to particularly have some of the people who have a difference of opinion, because I like to converse and get people's point of view on this. Because I saw some of your posts. Some people say, who you think he is? You want special treatment? And why you don't go there with your thing? And why you think of yourself far? You want people to treat you differently? You know, everybody know you're American and all of that stuff. I want these people to call. I want to add some clarity to the conversation. All right, 718-701-5720. That is the number. But Janko, let me ask you this: why do you think that this question in particular has always been there for such a long time, and nobody seemed to correct custom officers on that? Why do you think that this been done for so long? Nothing done to it.
You see, I'm not too certain why it's still there or why it's a question, but what I could say though, it seems to be there for a reason for individuals probably not to overstay their welcome, if you want to call it that. Some people, I'm not too sure if people would want to leave the US and overstay in Grenada, and then they have complications with their own documentation over there. But it's not something that should be asked as to a Grenadian coming home. I really fundamentally am opposed to that question being asked to a Grenadian in Grenada coming home to Grenada. You see, if you have to go to another man's land, then it's okay. It's all well and good to say, you know what, I'm here as a visitor, or I'm here as an alien, or whatever it is you want to call it, what title you want to use. They could ask you that question. But coming home, it should be an easy process. Not to say it's you're coming to create you want any special treatment or whatever the case might be, but there should not be that type of interrogation, if you want to call it that, to a Grenadian. Well, I'm not too certain if it happened now because of what's happening with the Donald Trump and the self-deportation. I'm not too sure if that might be a concern now, but it shouldn't be asked to a Grenadian. Any Grenadian coming home should be welcome to come home. Because that is your place of birth. Here your neighbor, according to the saying, here your neighbor stringberry, so you have to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Someone said earlier, and I want these people to call. I am begging these people who have this difference of opinion that sits behind the keyboard and made these really outrageous comments to call. Someone said that Grenada is a sovereign country and they need to protect their borders. They need to protect their borders. Hence the reason why you have to do stuff like that. Protect their borders from what?
From what exactly?
From what? From who? We got a call on the line. Let me see if I can bring that caller in right now. Caller live, where are you calling us from?
Hey, Junior, good afternoon. West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach, Florida. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Junior, I think the question of asking that is totally wrong, but I think one of the bigger problem is lack of training and the manner of attitude of which the customs officer them handle you as a returning national also. It is lack of training. The procedures are sometimes wrong, and sometimes you as a returning national can react to that disrespect, and it creates a whole uncomfortable situation because you in turn feeling disrespected just by their attitude, and lack of training to handle simple things as searching a bag or talking to you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. The lack of respect. But you see, the hierarchy, the supervisor of that said individual said to me, she see nothing wrong with that question.
And you almost feel at times like you're being targeted. I mean, not to beat the camel back, but it has happened to me twice before for no reason. You know what I mean?
They ask you the same question?
Yeah. You know.
Listen,
So
I am gonna make sure I am working. I would make this a project. Ask me any other question. Don't ask me that question. Don't ask returning nationals that question. Omit that question.
you know,
Train them
and
not to ask people
right,
that
you know,
question.
it's a total disrespect. I mean, and then it had times where I actually came in with my American passport, and I will get a nice immigration officer, and the immigration officer will say to me, it will say, Spice, you know, you don't need to go in that line. You know, you can go in the green line. You know.
Yeah. Because your American passport says your nationality. That's what a lot of people don't
Right.
know. So immigration, and for a lot of people who don't understand, don't comment stupidness. The immigration
Right.
immigration officer takes your passport and he has all that information in front of him, right? He has that information. He have your passport. That is different than custom. Custom officers should not even touch your passport. You don't give them your passport. You give them that little slip, which, by the way, I think that they should get rid of. That slip is annoying. That slip, everybody, I never see so much people stoops like that. I came up with everybody just, man, that long thing everybody had to sign. I went to Barbados, I didn't have to sign it. And that's another show. But what I'm saying is the custom officer have no information about you that when he look on that paper and he see Grenadian and he see your passport number, he see that information on that printout that you gave to him. That's your passport.
Right.
So even if you are a U.S. citizen, he would say that on there. He wouldn't say Grenadian. So I could understand if as a U.S. citizen, custom may ask you that question.
Not a Grenadian.
Not a Grenadian, because that information is on your document.
Absolutely, and I'm happy. I'm happy you're bringing this up because it's something that's been happening, and as you said, it needs to stop. You know, I mean, immediately. You know what I mean, and for the folks, I mean, who don't see it as a problem, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, and in a sense, and human nature, you react and like what. Like, are you serious? You know what I mean? Because it happened to me, and I happened to get into a little confrontation because I had to look at the customer officer. I'm like, I call them by their name because I know them. But you know what I mean? Having went to school, I'm like, come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. And listen, we're gonna continue to fight this fight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. We're taking on this topic right here. So Django, you see, this is an issue that spans far and wide. People that are coming in, not only myself, they have been asked that question. They're equally feeling disrespected. This is not a question that should be asked. This should be revamped, revised, retrained, altered the vocabulary, done, not asked anymore. You don't need legislation to pass to do that. All you need is common sense.
What might have to happen, even if it's not legislated or they're not trained to not ask that question? What should happen? Grenadians returning home should not answer that question. They should tell them clearly, it's none of your business. I'm a Grenadian, I'm going home.
Right.
So if every Grenadian coming home tell them the same thing, at some point they would realize, well, I can't ask these people this question. And then they would train themselves.
In my case, you know what happened?
Even if sometimes you have to go through, sometimes you have to be punished to get what it is you want, So if that is what they decide they would want to punish you for standing up and not cooperating with the question, let that happen. Eventually they would stop asking the question, and the Grenadian would come home in peace and not have to worry about some individual asking them how long they come in at the home to stay.
Good Life on YouTube. What are you doing, Good Life? He said, I think he's above the law since NNP. Yo,
No, it's not about being above the law. It's just simple courtesies. You don't
above
ask
the
them.
law.
Yeah.
Above the law. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Above what law? I am simply asking a common sense and making a common sense statement. Let me take that audio off. I'm just making a common sense statement that Grenadians, every Grenadian, hold on. Let me just, that person, yeah. Call on the line, stay on the line for a little bit. Every Grenadian traveling from overseas, you are a Grenadian. You were born here. This is your home. This is your home. Nobody could ask you how long you're staying in your home. Doesn't that make common sense? Doesn't that just make common sense? You, if somebody coming from Carriacou and coming to Grenada, you go ask them how long they staying in Grenada? It is so stupid. I don't understand it. Let's take a call. We got a caller on the line. Let's take this. Let's take this caller. Caller, live. Where you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from the US,
Yes,
Junior, and what that discussion is so timely. The last time I went back, I said to myself, never, never again.
Mm-hmm.
I was so hot, and how they interact with the foreigners, and from the time they realize is a Grenadian that's in the US, by what they get.
Yeah. Caller, you there? I think we lost that caller. Caller, you there? Yeah, we lost that caller. Caller, please call us back. We lost your audio. 718-701-5720. So you see what I'm talking about? The people who saying, "Oh, I think I'm above the law," or I'm looking for a special benefit, or I'm looking for a special this and I don't asking for nobody to do anything special. I'm not asking for no privilege, right? All I am saying, and I don't care if from now until the next century, every time I come to Grenada, they send me to the red line. I don't care. I don't care. If I have to pay, I have to pay. Let me. That caller is calling.
Yeah.
Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, Junior, sorry, I think I got disconnected there.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a horrible experience. I cooperated, and after she couldn't, she find that okay, her attitude wasn't kind of affecting me, man. She's such a bag. She didn't get nothing. When she finds she get it, she said, "Watch, walk across there."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "This is how you all handle people." And as other caller said, I called her the supervisor, and the supervisor said she saw nothing with that behavior.
That's what I'm saying. The supervisor is ill-trained, worse than the worker.
Then I was calling. They had me there forever. So I was calling the person and saying, "Listen, there's a delay. Put away your phone. Put away your phone. Put away your phone."
Yeah.
You see the sign. You see the sign. You see the sign. I said, look how much people using their phone. I said, what is it with me? You understand? But in the defense, I just want to say that because they went through my stuff and hold back after that thing, and I interacted with a different group. So I just want to make it clear that is some because I told her after I dealt with, I just feel like she called Chineen is I'll do the abbreviation BB because she was happy. She was brave enough to give me. You understand? First name B, last name B. And after that, I said, you know what? I don't agree with that.
Wow.
And when I came back to get my stuff and so on, because man, the whole everything and the whole crew of them, that part. And when I came back, was a total different set of people. I said, okay, well, I'll give Grenada a chance because I tell you, Junior, I had the right of Grenada there and then.
Wow.
So I think it's important. It's important for government, with some private places, they have these undercover, like mystery people and so on that would just pop in unknown to them to do, the customer service type of,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that government create a ministry for that. Just hire undercover people to see how these people and then the street people. But it was. I mean, it almost brought me to tears, and I'm tough, But that was the worst.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was the worst. I just leaving that lady to God. I waited. That was the worst.
Yeah. Caller, thank you for calling in. And listen, I feel your pain, my brother. That's all I can say. I feel your pain. Hopefully, a lot of people have some kind of empathy and understanding. Let's go back to the caller. We got another caller on the line. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from? On the WhatsApp.
I'm calling from Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yes, so you're absolutely correct. If you have presented a Canadian passport, that's all that matters. Regardless of what else they know about you, whether you live wherever and you do a program, it does not matter. What matters is only what is in front of them and what is presented in front of them. And that is your passport. It is Grenadian. If they recognize that, they should not be asking you how long are you going to stay. Now, I came in the other day and the immigration officer said, welcome home.
Exactly.
Can you imagine I'm getting that and then going to the custom officer and then the custom officer is going to ask me, how long am I going to stay? These things are diametrically opposed. What are you saying? So they should be on one page. They should recognize that you are a Grenadian and that's it. Anything else that they know about you does not matter. If you have, now there's a little bit of a contradiction on that paper that you have to fill out because there is one that says visitors and one that says returning nationals. And the one that says returning nationals, it asks you how long you were away. Mm-hmm. So you are a national, you're returning, but it doesn't give you that option. The only other option you can choose is visitors. So I don't know. They should make a little tweak there.
You have to check other because I find that is uncomfortable as well.
Exactly.
Because none of it apply. None of it apply to you.
That's right.
I just check other.
Right. So they could make a little distinction there. Now, as I said, you are categorically correct, and this is harassment, really. This is harassment. If they wink in an eye and telling, hey, look out for that one, he's giving trouble. This sort of thing. This is not called for because you are a Grenadian. And these things, you should be able to complain about that to proper authorities so that they can remedy this sort of behavior and the situation. And I too have seen some really ridiculous things over the years that I can not to talk over the air, but it's so embarrassing. But in any case, I don't want to put everybody in the same sort of situation. I have not experienced that myself, but I can understand what you have gone through there and what others may have gone through.
Right, absolutely.
That's my take on it.
Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
All right, good. 718-701-5720. So Django, you understand the problem here. People are turning back and saying, you know what, boy, I can't deal with that disrespect again. And it's real. Well, I'm not hearing you.
No. And we supposed to be. I remember 1 year when this gentleman, the owner of Silver Sand, came in, and there was a big hoopla about a statement the gentleman made about when he was coming in. The faces of the officers was not inviting.
Right.
And there was a big talk around that conversation.
They should smile. Some more.
It should be engaging and have people feeling like they're coming into a park, because Green really is a paradise. Yeah. So that's your first point of entry, your first point of contact with Grenadians, and we should be able to sell that warmth of the Grenadian people. They shouldn't feel that negative energy when you come into the Isle of Spice. It should just be a positive love, a kind of, you know what I mean? Because we ain't coming in, people, we're not a violence other people. We're not into witchcraft. We're not into bad business. We're not into anything stupid. We are just a loving group of people, and we should sell that from our first point of contact with individuals coming in on the airport. And we should even go beyond just Grenadians. We should tell the foreigners, welcome to the Isle of Spice, welcome to Pure Grenada, welcome to what? Instead of interrogating and stressing people's brains out, because the truth is, if somebody's bringing in illegal stuff, it will be spot even before they land here. So we have to search and fight so hard to look for illegal stuff. Yes? let people feel welcomed in our island, and they would feel the need to encourage others to come and spend more time and money here. And that's what we need.
And you know, funny enough, I went to Barbados before I came to Grenada, right? So I went to Barbados and I stayed in Barbados. So I went to immigration in Barbados, and you know, they don't have someone there that is feeling you and looking at you like that.
No, you just scan your passport and go with your business.
Yeah, you go about your business. We got a call on the line. We got a call on the WhatsApp. Let's go to the WhatsApp. I know we have a caller on the phone line as well. Caller will come to you, but let's go to the WhatsApp first. WhatsApp, go right ahead.
Yes, Junior. I had an incident with the on the airport in 2017 with the same problem. And I filled out the form and I put on the form as long as I want in that area. And when I reach inside, because I filled the form on the on the aircraft. So when I reach inside, the officer asking me, "What you mean by as long as you want?" I said, "Yes, because I'm a Grenadian." So he kept me there for about a half an hour. He said, "You have to take it." I said, "No, I'm not changing as long as I'm living here."
You're damn right. You're right. You're right. You're right. As long as you want.
Yes.
So he asked you, "Why you mean what? As long as you want?"
Yes. I said, because I'm a Grenadian and I could stay as long as I want. And I'm not changing that. I'm not writing anything over as long as I want.
Exactly.
He keep me there for half an hour and tell me that you're not going anywhere. I said, well, let me see if you can hold me here for the whole day.
Wow. Probably it was Batiste. Either it was Batiste or Greenwich. One of them. Sure. Or one of them she trained or something.
It was Batiste.
Batiste. Oh Lord. Somebody hold up. Somebody give Batiste some customer service training. I single out Batiste. Anyway, caller, thank you so much. All right.
Welcome.
Yes, but Batiste, somebody need to deal with Batiste. Somebody need to really bring Batiste into the office and talk to Batiste. Please, let's go to the caller. We have another caller on the line. Caller on the line. Caller, go right ahead. You're live.
So, good evening, Junior.
Hi.
I'm sorry I didn't meet this lady before because I would have done the same thing and say as long as I want. But that has not been my experience. I've had both officers telling me welcome home, as well as officers asking me how long I'm here for. But what really irks me is when you get home into your community and they ask you, "Girl, you here? When you going back?" Before they ask you how you doing or welcome home, they're too asking you, "When you going back? How long you here for?"
Well, the reason why their thing is different. The reason why they're asking you that is because they want to bring up something for the auntie. You know, that's a totally different dilemma. Yeah.
Our culture, that the things that we ask, we're not mindful of how it affects another person, and so we just say what first comes to mind. So I don't think give them a break. Give Batiste a break.
No, I ain't giving Batiste a break.
And okay, all right. Have a good night.
All right, thank you so much. We got another caller on the line on the WhatsApp. Caller, go right ahead. Caller on the WhatsApp, go right ahead. Caller, are you there? All right. Okay, I can hear the dog and thing barking in the back there, but the caller don't answer. 718-701-5720. This is a problem, guys, and this needs to be fixed. This is not no joking. This is not no laughing matter. This is a serious case, right? Custom officers, in particular, asking Grenadians, returning nationals, how long they stay. Now, I've been seeing this. I've been asked that question up to 15 years ago and up to yesterday. So the whole process has never changed. As I said, I spoke to the supervisor, and she said she sees nothing wrong with this question. I have since penned a letter to, I believe, the controller foresight, and I want clarification on this. I've spoken to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I've spoken to the ambassador for Terry Forrester, Ambassador Terry Forrester, for the diaspora affairs. I've spoken to a lot of people on this question here, and I'm waiting for a response. Let's get another caller on the line. Let's go back to this caller. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
Hi, Junior. I'm calling from New York.
Hey, New York. Go right ahead.
Yes, I could remember my daughter told me she on 2 occasions she came home on vacation 2 weeks just to run in and run out. And the custom officer asked her how long she's spending. She said 2 weeks, and they said 2 weeks with all this amount of clothes. So I don't understand it.
What they ask? What they ask? I missed it. I was reading a comment.
After how long she's on comment, she'll be on vacation for, and she said 2 weeks, and she said 2 weeks with all this amount of clothes. It was like, come on.
Yeah, because what they do, there's a metric, right? There's a metric. I see that metric used in Aruba. I see that metric used in the US, and I see that metric used in Canada. When you go through, there are actual surveillance after you clear immigration in the US, in particular. You don't. Hey, Hawkins, hold on 1 second. I'll come to you in a second. Yeah, you don't see these people. They are behind like a one-way mirror.
Yeah.
They're observing you, or they might be undercover just watching and observing, right? And profiling at the same time. And they look for irregularities. That is fine. I don't have a problem with that, right? But they don't hassle you, like to say hassle everybody. And they have a matrix. They might choose every one in every 10, one in every this, one in every no, whatever the category, however they figure it out. They do that and they call people in and they give them secondary screening. That happens, right? But not that kind of intrusive type of search on people. And the question, particularly to returning nationals. Let's go to the phone line. We got a caller on the line. Caller, you live on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, Junior, what's up?
Ade.
I think this is a very kind of little bit ticklish situation.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I would say, well, you know, I've been to Grenada a couple of times. I mean, a lot of times, for a lot of years. I really never issue in the airport. You know,
right?
But I seen some people already that come from outside, from New York, Canada, and I mean, what I'm saying to you, I think you have two sides because there's some people that just come, they just full of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying they're not supposed to ask you anything, but then you have another side of people that just feel they come from America, they feel they come from England, they feel they come from Canada. Do ask them nothing.
Right. Okay. Let's take it part by part. There's a point. There's a point. Hold on. Let's take it point by point. Yeah. No. I want to take it point by point. So we go address that attitude, right? Now, when you reach to customs, customs basically look at your documents and they may ask you a question to ascertain. They're trying to find out from you, from their assessment, this particular person coming in, they are visiting the country and you have an opportunity to let them walk or if you should let them get searched. Right?
Right.
So attitude, all of these different things shouldn't play in. I don't think should play into a decision. You are just there to assess and decide here or there. But asking the question, particularly the question as to how long you're staying, will give you get most people to give you attitude.
Yeah, but
point
remember
blank.
Something though. Remember something. Everybody is not everybody. Remember, and I say that to say that some people, you know, it's just like coming to the airport and you see some people look kind of fidgety, like they move in a kind of way.
Right.
And immigration have a right to ask them a question because they're not moving as normal.
Absolutely.
It's like either they're hiding something. You know
absolutely.
For example,
take them to secondary screening. That's fine. Right. They do that in the US all the time.
But remember something. When you reach in JFK, right? And you said and you show your American passport, the immigration asks you always where you coming from and how long you've been there.
Right.
They ask you that question coming from another country.
Right after they say welcome home.
Yeah, and they do that to you even though you're American, they do that.
Right. Yes, but that is good. No problem with that. How long did you stay in that place? Where have you traveled for in the last 6 months?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, couldn't they not do that because, let me say, put it on the other side, way, like if he's American, right? Should they just let you go through because you're American?
No. But okay, think about it like this, Hercules. You came in from Grenada, right? And you came into the United States and you have your American passport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you present it to the American authorities. And the American authorities ask you, sir, how long you plan to stay? Respond to that.
Yeah, you go tell them how long you stay.
No. Respond to that. You came to America with your U.S. passport.
Yeah.
You present it to the U.S. authorities. And then they ask you, sir, how long you intend to stay?
Yeah, what I'm saying to you.
Respond to that. Respond to that. Well, your response would be.
Well, I would tell more. Well, you have to say.
Oh, what would you say? What would you say?
I live here.
Exactly.
But the thing is that listen to this. No, this question comes up because when, for example, you come in JFK.
Uh-huh.
From the time they put in a document in the computer,
uh-huh,
they see you a guy that traveled 9 times to Jamaica, 5 times to Trinidad. This is where this question comes up all the time.
Yeah, but the question is different. The question is different. How long you're staying for is a different question to where have you traveled in the last 6 months. It's a different question to say where have you been before. It's a different question.
What I'm saying, if you are Grenadian, that we all are Grenadian.
When you say Grenadian, what do you mean? Is there levels to Grenadianism?
No, because sometimes you could see somebody and being Grenadian for the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Uh-huh.
And
Grenadian.
What's the mission?
What,
you know what
They're coming home. They're coming home.
Hold on. Not to be
home. Home is home.
If somebody leave and they ain't come to Grenada in 10 years, are they less of a Grenadian?
They're coming home.
No, they're not less.
Right.
Still
Grenadian.
What I'm saying, certain little things does make immigration ask you a question.
Yeah, but not how long you staying in your home.
I don't go to the airport in Grenada, and for the time I reach here, you know what they'll tell me?
What?
Well, I say he wasn't coming again.
What? Even that?
I go for a carnival every year.
Even that?
I'm saying sometimes that I mightn't be 100% right, but I just feel sometimes a lot of people, like last time I was in Grenada,
mm-hmm.
You have a fella with a whole suitcase of white tees.
Okay.
A whole suitcase.
Right.
And argument and bacchanal on the airport. You know what I mean? He ain't giving up. The officers and them with him, you're selling, no, you bring that, you have maybe about 100 and something t-shirts.
Short him and charge him. Short him and charge him, but that's a different thing, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of different things sometimes make these things happen.
Yeah, but it's two different things because I don't have a problem.
Coming home is the problem.
If they take you and they sort you, give you secondary screening, and you have XYZ and they decide to charge you, they charge me. I'm not making a big fuss about they charging me. I'm not saying, oh, they shouldn't do their job and they shouldn't charge or whatever. If they feel, they figure, and the law give them the authority to do that, charge. Yeah, what I'm saying is the law does not give you the jurisdiction, and common sense doesn't give you the jurisdiction to ask a Grenadian how long they stay in, especially knowing that they are a Grenadian. That is my point.
How much time it does the Grenadians? Watch out, I come to the airport, you know. I had 100 but like and you know they ain't tell me nothing.
But that's different.
Yeah, coming home is the issue. Coming home is the issue. Asking how long you staying.
Let me tell you something. Last time I was in Grenada. You know when they sell people be on the airport for 2 hours? And some people will say, the airport is right there, man. Like
volunteer.
Realize when you go on the airport late, it's either you don't get your baggage when you get there.
Right.
And this lady, she get 2 of the baggage and two didn't come, and is a whole bacchanal on the airport.
Right.
Because of so you have to say that some people also have to have the understanding when they travel, use travel advice and take care of yourself sometimes. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You know what things sometimes don't think we need to rumble and thing. You know why the character here sometimes?
Right. Well, I am always going to give an attitude, and I'm always going to protest, and I'm always going to come in here and say, don't ask me that question. If you want to search my bag, search my bag.
Yeah.
If you feel I have something else selling, search my bag. Don't ask me how long I stayed. We have 2 more calls on the line. Come
All right.
this. All right.
All right. Okay. No
Thank you so much, my brother. Yeah. I don't have a problem with any of that. I have a problem with the question. Another caller on the line. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hi, caller. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm Shirley. I'm calling from Toronto.
Toronto, go ahead.
Okay, hi. Good evening, Junior. Great conversation. What I'm listening to, I saw that post today, and I responded on it. What can I ask you a question? Could it be that the immigration officers?
It's not the immigration officers. It's not
Custom.
immigration. It's customs.
The custom. Okay. Now, here I'm a little bit thrown off, so just bear with me.
Sure.
It's not a stupid comment.
No.
Like when I'm returning back to Grenada on vacation, I go to the line. I think that's the immigration I meet first.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, that's immigration officers, right?
Yes.
That's the one I meet first.
Yes.
Then they clear me,
Yes.
and then when I go to clear my luggage, the ones that I meet, they're the custom officers.
Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. I don't believe at that point they have the right to ask you how long you coming for. Because that is your country, it is your home. So I was mistaken with the conversation posed because I thought it was the immigration officers asking the questions. So I think at that point, I clear immigration. I'm now at customs. I just need to get my luggage. But I think at that point, some of them, they dig up the luggage, they go through it, they turn it upside down with their dirty gloves. And I do not believe they have to ask anybody, whether a visitor or even more so a Grenadian, how long you're in the country for, because that person would have already cleared that with an immigration officer. So what I want to say, I think it's the job they have, the position they have, they're abusing their power. If they're being very authoritative, they're asking questions they shouldn't ask. Yes, and it frustrates people. So apart from getting annoyed, how could we address this? Should we address it with the government, with the, what do you call it, with the immigration officer, head of immigration officer? Is that who we should address?
But we're not talking about immigration. We're talking about customs.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
who should we address it to? Because it should be fixed.
Right. Well, my first attempt, after I met with the young man that then winked to the other lady that she should search me, which she did proceed to search me and did proceed to charge me, which I'm not making a big deal out of. Okay, whatever. You found three fire stick, 12 shirts, about 6 hats. You feel that I go in and stand in St. George's and sell this on the sidewalk to make a little money, so you go tax me for it. If you feel that is your right position, go ahead, no problem, charge me for it. Okay, I pay them, right?
All right.
That is not the problem. The problem is you as a Grenadian, you are in your home. You are from there.
Right.
That question should not be asked.
It should not be posed. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't ask that question. So we should start to talk to the people in customs. And when I spoke to the supervisor, I thought that the supervisor would have actually given me some sort of, understanding. Instead, the supervisor told me that when she go to other countries, she travel all the time, and when she go to other countries, it's the same thing that she get. And I'm telling the custom officer, like, what are you talking about? Of course they go ask you that question because you're not from there. If you go to the United States, if you go to Aruba, if you go to Bangladesh, if you go to wherever, they go ask you that. They go ask you that. But when you come home, imagine that same immigration supervisor, not immigration, sorry, custom supervisor.
Yeah.
Imagine she went to America and she came back home, and a fellow custom officer asking her how long she's staying. You see how nonsensical this whole thing is?
So then obviously, sorry to cut you, Junior, obviously.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously, that custom officer supervisor is not trained. They are not trained.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's my point.
Yeah, they're not trained.
It's my point. It's my
And then
point.
you can't correct them because they become very arrogant with their attitude. So they need to be retrained. Obviously, they need training. And how do we fix it? This is what I wanted. Because
Well,
if the travelers, it's not good that the traveler is getting into a fight with them or argument with them. It should be fixed.
yeah.
It should be fixed from within.
Well,
It should be fixed
I'm
from
gonna,
within the
I'm gonna, I'm
country.
gonna, I'm gonna take on that charge. I'm gonna ensure
Yes, you
that
should.
something gets done where that is concerned. I see a comment here by Ezra Gilbert. I want to single out Ezra Gilbert because Ezra Gilbert
Okay.
is asking the question. I was saying the statement actually that it is a legitimate question. So I want to ask Ezra Gilbert in the same. Oh, thank you, caller. By the way, thank you so much. You could go ahead and continue watch your live.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Keep it up. Bye-bye.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye.
Django, we could bounce on that a little bit because Ezra Gilbert is saying it is a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question. So I want to understand this. So I shared the question, the situation earlier with the custom officer that asked me, the supervisor lady, that asked me, that said that she don't see nothing with that statement. Don't think about if that same custom supervisor, she went to the United States and she came back, right? And while she was away, they hired some other new people, someone that don't even know her, that she worked there. And she came back and she presented her Grenadian documents like just how I presented my immigration documents. And if that new person who they hire asked her how long she's staying, how she will feel about that?
Yeah, you see, the protocol is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a basic protocol. The Canadian nationals should never have to go through that. And watch, it tends to, for example, basically use your local commute here. Imagine you drop from a bus in the terminal and they're asking you how long you're staying in town, you know. It's basically the same thing.
Exactly.
It's basically the same thing. Because you're on island where you're born, they're not supposed to ask you that.
You know,
they could ask you on the airport. They could ask you on the Osprey. Yeah, they could ask you on the Osprey. They could ask you on the bus terminal.
They had searched Tevin.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah. Coming from Carrick.
And that was a big thing. Yeah. So it's not the right thing. It's not the right thing. It's not the right thing.
We got another call.
And you should feel at home.
Yeah, we got another call in line. Call it live. Where you calling us from?
I'm actually Grenadian.
Okay.
I was just following you on Facebook. So I am a dual citizenship holder.
Right.
I'm Grenadian as well as Barbadian, right?
Okay.
And I just had to mention something because in my experience while returning home to my other country, when you enter into immigration, the kiosk machine, you fill out a form, and the forms which they actually give you when entering the country, like say if you travel to Grenada or any other Caribbean country, immigration form which is being presented to you.
Right.
Once you enter into Barbados, in my experience, returning home, they usually have on the kiosk machine where they ask you, like, you know, how long you're staying, even if you're a national of the country. But when you arrive at the desk to the customs officer, they just welcome you home. They tell you, well, I know, enjoy your stay, have fun, etc., etc. But I had to ask, correct me, I'm subjected to correction.
Mm-hmm.
If you return back to your country and they present you with a form, which is the immigration form you have to fill out, why, as a national of the country, the kiosk machine is there, you still have to submit your documents to that machine and then still present it to the immigration or the customs officer.
Right. Okay. So I understand what you're saying. And I just came in through Barbados. So just day before yesterday, I passed through Barbados. And what I recognized with Barbados, when I went to the kiosk machine at Grantley Adams, you scan your passport, you fill out the documents, the kiosk took your picture, and then they send you to an immigration officer, right? The immigration officer, welcome to Barbados. She did in fact ask me, I told her that I was in transit. She asked me how long I'm staying. I said I was in transit. Perfectly legitimate question for the Bajan authorities to ask me that.
Correct.
simply because I, at the point in time, is a Grenadian coming into Barbados. She asked me the question. I told her I was in transit. She told me where to go, and that was done. I didn't have to fill out any lengthy paperwork, declaration paperwork in Barbados. And that was yesterday, day before yesterday.
Probably what you should suggest to the authorities is probably they should take into creating some form of some form of idea which follows along the same line as Barbados or any other Caribbean country or CARICOM country that follows that same kind of outline.
I think so.
It's much simpler, easier, and probably wouldn't have this conflict of interest with persons or non-nationals or others nationals coming in to face that kind of interaction with the immigration officer, the attitude and such, so forth. That is my personal intake.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your take. Yes. We'll go back to the line. But before we do that, I want to elaborate more on Ezra's point. She's saying that's the job of the officer to ask. She said, you answer and you move on. It's the nature of the job. Django, this question has to be there for ages. Customs have to profile people. That's their job. They know who's staying and who go, visiting and returning. Not the same. Django, if you care to.
No, Ezra she's missing the point. She's missing the point here. She's missing the point. Ezra, it's not about the question has been there. Yeah, the question could be there, but you ask that to foreign nationals. You ask that to visitors. You don't ask a Grenadian coming home to Grenada how long they plan to stay in their home. This is home. You could stay for as long as you want. You could stay for 20 years if you choose to. You could stay for a day if you choose to. This is your home. They should not be bombarding you with the question of how long you plan on staying here. So that is the genesis of the conversation. It's not a matter that the question is going to be removed or it should be removed in any way. But locals should not be subject to this question. That should be for a Bajan, a Trinidadian, a US born American, a Canadian, or whosoever it is, German. Because you're visiting here, you're born here, you have entitlement here. Your neighbor string is on a mango tree somewhere in the Blando, for example. So they should not ask a Grenadian, a born Grenadian. If you have, you probably became a citizen by investment or whatever the case might be, which would be indicated in your documentation, then they may ask you how long you intend to stay here, so which I still don't believe, because a Grenadian is a Grenadian. So once you become a Grenadian, you should have that luxury of going through without that screening and that question. Well, not the screening, but the questioning about your length of stay here.
Yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I couldn't even answer it better myself, and I'm not picking on you, Ezra, but I want to make it clear because there's a lot of people who don't quite understand and keep missing point. And the next question she's follow up with, is that question difficult to answer? Ezra.
It's rude.
It is difficult to answer. You know why it's difficult?
It's just rude. It's rude and intrusive.
It's intrusive.
Yeah.
It lacks everything. And here's why it's difficult to answer. I don't even know how long I'm here for. I came in on a one-way ticket. I can stay as long as I want. So I'm like, even if I want to be blatantly honest and clear to the individual, I will be like, I don't know.
For as long as I want.
As long as I want. So you're always gonna come back to that answer.
Yeah.
It's always gonna come back, and it's gonna come out rough. Like what? How long am I staying here, Jed? Well, so what? I don't know how to answer that question.
It shouldn't be asked to a Grenadian. I'm a returning Grenadian. It should not. It should not.
I want Ezra to leave her house right now. Walk outside her house. Let her boyfriend or whoever in the house close the door. And when she's coming back in, they should ask her, how long you intend to stay in this house?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
What would your answer be, Ezra? What would your answer? Because I know there are a lot of people like you that asking these questions, what would your answer be? Go out of your house right now and let whoever you're with open the door for you. And when they open the door, they should ask you, Ezra, how long you intend to stay in this house? How long you intend to stay here? Eh? They should ask you that question. And tell me what would your answer be. And then put it into perspective and try to understand what we're trying to tell you. And then probably you would have come to a conclusion why this question is a difficult question and a question that should.
You see the attitude. I'm not picking on the Ezra individual because I don't know her. Just by that last comment that was on the screen there, just answering the question, it gives the authority, the customs officers, that authority over you. Just by answering the question, it appears as if, okay, well, if somebody answering it, that means everybody go answer it. So we go just ask everybody. Stand up and tell them, listen to me, I'm a Grenadian, I'm coming home. I'm answering that question for as long as I want to stay. Absolutely. And that will end that question.
AJ Langley is saying it's not the same thing as in Ezra's situation. Custom examine you for a reason. Now listen, let me be clear. I am not saying that customs should not search your bags. Customs shouldn't enact whatever legislation it is. But there are an amount, and I'll get that information and provide it to you, of how much one person is entitled to. Right? There is an entitlement of what somebody should have. In my case, I had 3 fire sticks, about 12 shirts, some hats, and the rest is my boxers. Probably she should have charged me for boxers because I have a lot of boxers. I have a lot of boxers. She should have charged me for them to get them too. But what I'm saying is, I have no problem with that. Charge for that. But you see the question of how long you intend to stay, you do not ask that question simply because there can be no answer for it, and it's actually a question that it kind of makes it seem like us against them kind of thing. You are over there and we're here, and how long you staying here? How long is with that type of with that type of feeling, and that's what they bring across to a lot of people. So much so that people say, you know what? Furthermore, I forget that I ain't coming back here, and people already said that they felt that way. All right, so that's what we're saying. We got a call on the line. Let's take that call. Caller, live. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Grenada.
Yes.
Yeah, my question I want to ask you: are you a citizen of America?
What does it matter?
Well, I guess maybe that's why they ask you.
No, because I did not present myself as a citizen of America.
What I'm asking you, if you are a citizen of America.
But that have nothing to do with you. I have nothing to do with them at the point in time that I'm presenting my documents. I am presenting a Grenadian passport. I'm a citizen of Grenada. No matter if you feel, you believe, you think, I'm not presenting myself as a U.S. citizen. I'm presenting myself as a Grenadian citizen with a Grenadian passport. And that is all that to be considered.
Can't assume.
I don't think assume.
So the next question should be, are you a citizen of another country? That should be the question. No.
I'm a citizen of Grenada.
Right. So if they want to be intrusive into my business and mind my business, I want to find out how many passports I have. They could ask the question, and I will put them in the place, right? But if I am presenting myself, as a Grenadian, I didn't come to you and give you 2 passports, you know. I came to you and gave you 1 passport, my Grenadian passport. That is what I'm presenting to you, my Grenadian passport. Here. Who are you to assume what other nationality you know? If I have passport for Bangladesh or Pakistan or Israel or Africa, does that make any difference?
The customer officer could ask you that.
Well, right, but they could ask me that. But what grounds? He could ask you, what grounds do they have to ask you if you have a passport to any other country? What would your answer to that be? What would your answer to that be? Call on the phone line. Hold on one second.
I have to present it.
You have to present what? To who? To who?
The immigration.
I'm sorry, I'm not talking about immigration. and don't give up your right and people make you feel like you don't have sense. You have right to give up what? Custom officer is not immigration officer. They can touch your passport. Give up what? Give up your right? No. They don't have any right to ask you. If immigration asks you, and I want you to differentiate between immigration and custom. If immigration asks you certain question as it relates to your stay and all of that stuff, that is their job. Custom officer is not immigration officer. They can't take your passport. They can't hold onto your passport. Nothing like that. So what right you have to give them that information? Who told you that? Hello?
Yeah, I'm just asking you.
No. Well, that is not even a question. And I'm telling you, this is very serious. That's a very serious issue. If you want to give up your rights, and you come into Grenada as a Grenadian, and they will ask you how long you staying, and you want to respond and take away your dignity of you go ahead and do that. You give up that right. You keep up that right. Okay, you can ask me whatever. But I'm not going to do it. If you want to do it, fine, go ahead. That's you. All right. Thank you so much. We got another caller on the phone line. Let's take that caller right here. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I'm calling from New York.
New York, right?
Yes, I have to tell you what happened to me. I went to Grenada in 2018 for a funeral. And when I got down there, mind you, the last time I've been to Grenada was 97. Mm-hmm. I left there as a child. And I went on the line, and there was a young lady. She was in blue at the time. I guess she was one of the agents.
Yes.
She said, "Oh, you're on the wrong line. You should go on the other line." And then she looked at me and she said, "Where's your Grenada passport?" I was like, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, if you had a Grenada passport, you should have gone in this line and you could have exited with everybody else." I just ignored her and I said, "Just tell me which line to go on." She pulled me off the visitors line. And she was like, "Why don't you have a Grenada passport?" And I looked at her and I was like, "If you look at my passport, you will see when I had it. I left Grenada as a child. I was going to tell her, where the F would I get a passport? But I didn't tell her that because I didn't come in Grenada for that."
Oh, you could get a passport. You could get a passport.
And she was very nasty. She was very nasty.
Mm-hmm.
She followed me all the way. She said, "See, everybody who have a Grenada passport, they already went through security." I have an American passport, woman. I left Grenada as a child. Did she have a passport to give it to me right there and then so I could exit? Did I tell her I want to exit in a hurry? She was very nasty. And this lady was like, she kept following me all the way till I get to the counter when they have to see me. And then I left. And the man said, "Oh, welcome, and why you're here." And I told him, they're very nasty at the airport on the line. I don't know what's wrong with them.
And when you say they, I want to just say this. It's not everybody. We're not saying everybody because
the young woman I encountered was very nasty. Okay?
I understand.
And she kept following me and asking me, and I put my suitcase up. She followed me all the way up till they called me when they said next.
Okay.
And I think that was terrible.
Right.
So with them asking all this question, I could understand, but they have to realize when people leave the country as children and they come, she didn't have the reason to ask me where's my Grenada passport. I handed her an American passport. All she had to do was look at it, tell me where to go, and go to the next customer and mind her business.
Right. But let me just for a matter of information, caller. Even if you you left a long time ago and you went to the United States and you have a United States passport, you could still get a Grenadian passport.
I understand, but why does she have to ask me where's my Grenada passport? Right. You don't have a Grenada passport. Where's your Grenada passport? And it's the attitude she had.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
And they are. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are very mean. I don't know what's wrong with them. It's like when you come as a visitor, they have some issues with you.
Right.
I'm not stopping them from traveling,
Right. Okay, caller.
What did you bring? Who you bring it for? Did you shop? Hello, I'm coming on vacation. If I want to come with 10 outfits, it's my business. I'll tell you I'm coming and sell it.
Right. Yeah. All right, caller. Thank you so much for calling.
Did you bring this for somebody?
Yeah. Yeah. Those questions are intrusive as well.
Thank you. That's just my say.
Yeah. Thank you so much, caller. All right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What, Django? What you gotta say that time frame, boy? Otherwise, you go be here all night.
It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic.
Let's go back to the phone. We got another caller on the line. Caller, live. We're calling us from
Toronto.
Toronto. Go right ahead.
Yes. I noticed that some people are generalizing everything as everybody does the same thing.
Right.
Now, my father died like 30-something years ago. And I remembered one time he came home and came back, and he said, when he reached on the airport, they asked him how long he intended to stay. And he just said that young man, that's none of your business.
Right.
You look into my passport, and he had a Canadian passport.
Right.
And then the guy just smiled and said, oh, you're Canadian. And that was that. The other thing you have to realize, once you go through immigration and the immigration stamps that means they land you. Once they land you, it is not the custom officer's duty or responsibility to ask you how long you stay. That is the direct and definite responsibility of the immigration officers. The custom officer, if they have a suspicion that you may be carrying something or something is in your suitcase, fine. That's their jurisdictions. So people who are saying that the custom officers have a right, they have no right because they land you. The immigration officer, they said, no, you have to hold, then you just have to hold because that's their jurisdictions. So people have to differentiate what is immigration and what is custom because it makes no sense. One of the things that some people said too, even though it's not directly related to that, is that when you land, come out from that airplane and trying to go into immigration or whatever, some of the attendants or the people who are there, they have to be more pleasant because last year I went down for the anniversary, and that's the first time my daughter, my wife, my son-in-law, and my granddaughter ever went to Grenada. And the way I speak about the pleasantries of Grenadians, how pleasant we are, and whatever, that reception was, I had to make a excuse that they worked for how many hours because of the amount, because I felt bad because of how I spoke.
You have to make excuses. Wow.
Yeah, because the reception when we got there, it was really, really, really not good. As Grenadian, I looked at my daughter's face, and she said, I thought you said your people were so pleasant. When I went to Barbados, when I went to the Bahamas, look how nice they were, blah, 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 blah. So, yes, that's a fact in what some people have said. But on the other hand, the young lady who escorted me out because I had a bad back, so I had a wheelchair, and she was so nice to us. We even offer her some tips, and she said, no, you're here to enjoy yourself, enjoy the independence celebration. So that's what I use, and I said to my daughter, you see the difference? So it's not everybody. So you have to realize that.
Yeah, it's not everybody. You're right. You're not everybody. You can't generalize.
Certain positions, like customer officers, sometimes they take it upon themselves to get this ego. Well, I am working here to look at this, and I can do that. But it is not the responsibility of custom officers to ask questions. They want to search you, fine. They want to have you pay something, fine. But that's going beyond their limitations.
All right, thank you, caller. Appreciate you.
I totally agree with you, Junior, on this one.
All right, thank you so much. I'm not saying, and I want to be very clear that custom officers can't ask questions. I want to be very clear, and so you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? I'm not saying that custom officers should not ask any questions. So let's make that very, very clear. I'm saying that this particular question, how long you're staying, is an inappropriate question to ask to a Grenadian that presents a Grenadian passport. That is not difficult to understand, guys. That is not hard to comprehend. AJ Landy is saying wrong. Based on his first statement when he asked about custom, he said, it's like a detective. They can ask you anything if you are a suspect. Everything if you are a suspect. They can ask you anything. Don't ask me how long I stay, right? Don't ask me how long I stay in, because I would disrespect you again. I would tell you I don't know how long I stay in. I don't ask me that question again. And I personally, guys, I am personally taking this thing down solid on 10 toes. I'm standing firm and having this question be taken out, or to be asked to a next Grenadian coming in, next fellow Grenadian coming in at the airport. Let's take this call. We got a call coming in right now. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
Hello?
Hi. Yes, caller. Go right ahead.
Junior, I totally agree with you. I'm one of the people that, for some reason, they always ask that question, and it irritates me. Another thing I notice is, if they suspect that somebody talk about suspect, I don't know suspect about what.
I don't know why they suspect me off.
But if they suspect that you may have something, right?
Yeah, well, I
came into Grenada last year with some candies. Junior, that midnight flight, because they're 2:00 in the morning. So the young lady asked me, what do I have? I said, some Christmas items. I'm here to celebrate the Christmas, and I'm having a fundraiser for the kids in the foster home. I said, I have documentation from the foster home. I have a receipt that I booked the government venue, and I can present that to you. She said, well, do you have, what's that document they asked you to have again when you're bringing something?
A declaration?
Declaration, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I said, no, I don't. I just have some candy. She said, well, what is the value of the candy? I said, miss, I purchased that candy since October. 2 big bags of candy from Costco or one of those places after the sale, the Halloween sale. She insists, 2:00 in the morning, Junior, I am tired. I said, miss, if you want to open the suitcase, you could. I could call her name, but I'm not going to call her. She does it to me every time I get in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
They said, open the suitcase. No, I want you to tell me the value of the candy. I said, I do not know the value of the candy. I bought the candy in October. This is December. Well, we are in the business of making money here. And if you did not go to the government and ask for concession, then we're supposed to charge you for this candy.
How much candy you had? How much candy did you travel with?
2 big bags of the little candies that they sell at, actually was Walmart. They have the 144 little pieces in the 2 bags.
She charged you for the candy?
So she said, she wanted to charge me for the candy. I said, I have letters from the foster home that I contacted. I came to Grenada and cleared the items that I would be giving to the foster home. I have my receipt that I booked the youth center. Junior, this is thing that people come down to give for free. It turned me off last year that I did not do it. It's a turn off. You want to charge me for some candy 2:00 in the morning? I leave home so long and I'm dying to touch down. And that Portia had me there forever. She does this every time she see me. Meantime, Junior, one time I got there, she had a friend or a relative online. She motioned with the head, give the head nod to the woman to get off the line. Took the lady off the line and she went away her merry business with her friend, whoever it was. But there she is chastising me, Junior, at 2 a.m. in the morning for some candies to give to the foster children. This is just unacceptable. And I think if you want to go through my bag, go through my bag. I told you it's candies. You want to check?
Right.
But don't chastise people for bringing in things and then asking you how long you've stayed in the country. And yes, the caller that spoke about the clothes, they ask you that same thing. All this clothes for 2 weeks? Yeah, because you didn't walk with a washing machine, right?
Yeah. Let me give you another clarification, because I like to be clear on a lot of things, right? Now, if you are carrying an excess amount of merchandise or products and it's deemed, like say for instance, you may be walking with a bunch of items like shoes, a whole bunch of shoes or items that it has value, right? That certain amount of value. They have to be declared, and you may have, if you're giving it to a home, they have to obtain a concession letter, right, from Inland Revenue, from Foreign Ministry of Finance, and the concession letter is basically going to give you 100% concession because this is gift for a particular home. Now, if you come into with this product there to the airport and you don't have a declaration, or you don't have a broker, or you don't have a concession letter that stipulates that, because you have to go to finance, they may take it upon themselves to say, well, we don't know what you're coming with the candy for. You don't have no declaration. You don't have no clearance for this thing. Then this is the value that we'll assess for it. So they do have a right to assess things. They do have a right to assess, because that is what they do. If you go to customs, even if you come in on a boat, customs are there to bring in revenue into the country based on shipments of products. And you may send a product with FedEx, and when you get there, they have to open it and check it, and then they do the evaluation times XYZ, and they tell you pay that. So the airport is basically doing the same thing. They have to assess it. So the next time you're sending anything like that, even if you're carrying it down on the airport, get a concession letter, write to the Ministry of Finance, get a concession letter, and that says you have 100% concession on this product. And then you reach to the airport, you show them your concession letter, and then they give you free clearance. You're free to go with your item because you present it and you declare it. So that's how I know the process.
But Junior, I remember taking a photocopy of the custom form. It says something about $300 you're allowed. Now, you and I know, big bags of candy is not $300.
Right, true. The value, yes, you're right. And a lot of the things I have.
Make sure I always screenshot that.
Right, absolutely. But I'm just giving you the process. Like I want to be fair to everyone in terms of information. All right.
Well, now I know. I'm gonna have my stuff.
Yes.
For the next time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, caller. I appreciate you. Yeah. We got another caller on the WhatsApp. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Canada.
Canada, go right ahead.
Hi, Junior. Yes. I have the same problem. My son was down for 2 weeks recently. When he reached in, they asked him the same thing. How long are you staying and where you want to stay? He told them, well, where he's going to
What passport did he present? What passport did he present?
Canadian passport.
Right. Okay.
That is a different thing.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing, eh?
Yes.
That's a different thing. Because you present a Canadian passport, you're a visitor.
Yes.
So I could understand they're asking you how long you intend to stay, where you're going to be staying. Because keep in mind like this, in any country, any jurisdiction that you go to, they want to make sure that you're coming in and you're going to leave. They don't want you to stay, right? And in most cases, they give you 6 months. Like in Grenada, even in America, when you go there, they give you 6 months as a visitor. Grenada and all jurisdictions, they have the same thing. They do the same thing, right? So if you come in as a visitor, they will ask you, they may ask you, not will, but they may ask you how long you plan to stay. Immigration may ask you that. And you have to answer it. You have to declare. You have to say where you're staying, because you can't just come and you don't know where you're going. Where you're staying, I don't know. You have to present that, right? So that is fair. That is fair. That's a fair question to ask.
Yes, but when he going back out on the 11th of say March here, now when he coming in now to check to fly out, the lady showed him the bin and tell him to put his shoes inside of the bin. He said he look back, he asked her, well, if you don't want to walk, tell them you don't want to walk, because you're not supposed to be speaking to him like that,
Right.
So she said, he said he look up, he see her name, she last name. I don't know if what's her name. And she's still pushing him around and telling him to job this and policy and stuff like that. But it's just the manner in which you speak to people. You have to take the time and speak to people. So he has to tell her, well, if she don't want to walk, tell them she don't want to walk.
Right.
And sit down home and give somebody else the job.
Right, I understand.
Than speaking to people in that kind of way. All right?
All right.
Have a pleasant
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, yeah. Guys, we got to shut up the thing, because boy, I didn't even know how to take up so much Django time. I appreciate you. I see Pele Dabo posted a message earlier. Big up Pele Dabo. He said all items entering Grenada are subject to customs and excise duties. Absolutely. And I am full agreement of that, because that's how the government makes money to pay teachers, to pay whatever. That's fine. No problem with that. Yeah. That's good. I have no problem with that. And that is to be expected. We got a last caller. Let's take this last caller on the phone. Caller live, where you calling us from?
Hi, Jenny. I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling because in December, I'm a born Grenadian, and both my kids were born in the U.S. But I have one child that has a disability, and I traveled with her in December, and we came home. And my daughter has a service dog, and I'm telling you, Junior, that's the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
I'm seriously standing there presenting a form from the vet from Grenada, from the Ministry of Agriculture, and the lady's asking me, where do I get that from? So I said to her, I said, ma'am, the reason why it is photocopied is because they emailed me the form because the Department of Health up here had to send the information to Grenada that were coming in with the dogs. And Grenada had to email back the response and the necessary documents to be able to bring the dog in. So when I got it, I printed it. That's why it's printed. I don't have the original document, but I said, I'm in here. If you want, you can call the ministry and verify it. She said, no, you're going to tell me where you get that form from. And I'm standing there and I'm simply saying to her, I was like, ma'am, my daughter has a PTSD dog that is different from a physical service animal.
Yes.
This dog is trained to sense like your pressure
Yes.
rising, your anxiety, your depression level. And I said, you guys are coming over here because it's like 6 of you right now. And this dog is going to go into a panic and start barking because he's going to believe that my daughter is in danger. I said, I am asking, please. I am trying to get the information. I even went as far, Junior. I said to her, I said, can my daughter go to the corner with the dog and you speak to me? She said, no, you're going to stand here until we verify because these dogs are banned in Grenada. And I said to her, she said, the dog is supposed to have a muzzle. And I said to her, I said, ma'am, a service dog don't wear a muzzle.
Absolutely
You
not.
can't muzzle a service dog.
Absolutely
and
not.
part of its work when my daughter is getting anxious is for it to bark to alert somebody. If she's having a seizure attack, it's going to bark to alert somebody. So the dog cannot be muzzled. She said, oh, well, these dogs are banned in Grenada. I said, ma'am, we got full authorization to bring this dog in as a service animal. The dog is fully trained. I said, to be honest with you, I said, I am tired because I've been on the airport. I said, they bumped us off the first flight. Our luggage came. We didn't get on the flight. We're on that second flight. I said, I've been on the airport since 2 o'clock this morning. I said, miss, I had a long day, please. I said, this is a service animal. It's different from a regular dog. The dog is trained to do a service. We went back and forth. This lady had me standing there for 45 minutes. And in the end, I said to her, I said, I had luggage that came in on a flight this morning and I don't see it here. She said, well, it's over at JetBlue. You have to go over to JetBlue to get it. I said, please, can somebody assist me in getting the luggages because it's like a wheelchair and other stuff and whatever. She said, oh, so now you expect to get priority service. That's what you're expecting to get priority service. And I'm standing there like waiting, they charge me. They still charge me for the dog, even though they was not supposed to charge me for the dog. They charge me to bring an animal into the country. Like I'm bringing a regular animal and I'm saying this is a service animal. But I just got to the point, Junior, I don't want to fight with her anymore because I've had it. My daughter is getting anxious. Things is getting out of control. The dog is barking. By the time I got over to JetBlue, the lady at JetBlue said to me, how is it that you have a service dog and the dog is barking? So I'm asking, I said, so you're over here. So how do you know the dog barked over there? I said, because this is not making any sense. She said, oh, well, you have to come to see somebody because we have to know if that's a real service dog. I said, I have my documents here. She said, oh, anybody could get documents. Anybody could get documents. I said, ma'am, where do you get your training from?
No,
it's just like
it speaks to, and I go back to this. It speaks to a lack of training, because I tell you this, and you know this very well. I know who was on the phone too, and I know your daughter. I know the condition.
Yes.
I know your dog. I know you,
Yep.
right? And I understand.
Yes.
in the United States and anywhere else that you go, even if as a taxi man, a Uber driver fail to pick up a passenger with a service animal, you would not drive again for the service ever. You would be totally revoked from the system, right? You cannot. Someone that have a service dog, emotional dog, it have to be by your side. That keeps you alive. And you need to understand that, but with proper training, I don't know if they didn't know, they have no idea, but somebody need to explain that to them.
Junior, the paper from the Ministry of Agriculture home in Grenada said it's a service animal. It said it because they verified it with documents from here, from the US. It says on it, right above it, it's a service dog. And she saw it. They told me, the lady from JetBlue, she asked me, she said, what service does the dog perform? So I said to her, I said, it's not a physical dog, so you can't see. Like, my daughter is not blind, so the dog needs to guide her. I said, my daughter is not deaf, so he's not a hearing dog. I said, my daughter has neurological and mental issues. I said, so she has that dog that is trained particularly in if she's having an episode or she's having something, the dog could alert her, or he could stand and hold her, or he could, act as a cushion if she's falling or whatever. That is what he's trained for. So I can't tell you that I could tell the dog, go fetch my bag, and he's going to go get the bag and bring it back. That dog is not trained for that because it's not a physical dog. And I'm standing there like explaining to the lady, Junior, like 2 days after, I got a letter from JetBlue, an email from JetBlue, stating that my dog, that they found poop and peed on the plane, on the flight. And I know that was not true. I went back to Maurice Bishop International Airport and I said, I need the log from that night when we came in. I need the log to see who signed saying that there was pee and poop on the plane. She said to me, no, there was no pee and poop on the plane. That is what JetBlue is reporting. But we reported that the dog was actually barking at passengers on the airport. I said the dog didn't bark at passengers on the airport. The dog started barking because things started getting out of control when the questions were being asked and I was trying to clear customs. I said that's all it was. I said, so this is totally different. Coming back, Junior, it was no. They literally told me they're not letting my daughter on the plane. They literally told me they're not letting her on the flight to go back. And I sat there and I said to the lady, this was my exact words. I said, if anything happened to my daughter in Grenada, I said, I would own this airport.
Wow.
Yep. That is exactly. I had to get the Minister Ron Redhead on the phone, because I have a friend that knows him. He had to call him and ask him, can you come to the airport to assist this lady on the airport because she has a service dog and they're giving her all of this problem. They're not going to let her go back. It's been 2 days now. Junior, we had to have the dog trainer come to Grenada because the first time they wouldn't let the dog back on the flight. We had to have the dog trainer come to Grenada. That's a flight I had to pay for. He came, he explained it to them. They asking him, well, why is it that you control the dog? He's the trainer for the dog and he's telling you what the dog is doing, what service the dog is doing. And this lady standing there telling me she never heard of any dog trained to do stuff like that.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Oh, boy. This is sad. I didn't even know you were going through all of that, Marilyn.
It is. It was sad, and I mean, it was a situation where it's like my daughter was like literally in tears. Like she came back, and I had to go to the hospital. I had to call JetBlue. I had to put in a claim with JetBlue. I had to go through, get a lawyer, do all of that because then it was just to the point where it was just too much. And the whole thing about it is the training with the officers in Grenada. They're not trained for things like that, and they think they know what they're doing and saying, and it's not the right thing.
Listen, that's crazy. Marilyn, listen, say hi to your daughter for me.
I will.
She's doing well. All right, thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, yeah. Wow. Django, this is crazy. I know this lady personally. Yeah, I know her daughter, and her daughter have, as she mentioned, her daughter have this this neurological issues, or I don't know exactly the diagnosis, but she sort of kind of blanks out at a certain time, as Marilyn explained to me. and the dog is trained to know when she's about to pass out, and then the dog starts to bark, and it alerts people preemptively. The daughter don't even know what's going to happen,
but the dog knows.
but the dog knows preemptively to act, and the dog starts to bark, and then they put things in action. So sometimes she don't fall and hit her head. Sometimes she don't land in certain places. The dog knows probably minutes before the episode actually happened. And this is, if she don't have that dog, if that daughter don't have that dog, she could have big problems, right? Serious problems. And that's supposed to be understood. Service animals, you don't play with people and the service animal. You get in big trouble. Anywhere in the world, you mess with people and the service animal, you could lose your license. You could lose. I mean, it's serious thing. It's a big problem. You could file major lawsuits against that. And I think that needs to be put into the prerequisite training for anyone that have to deal with people, because people coming from all over the place. And that is
it's supposed to be international. The protocol is supposed to be international protocols. It shouldn't be just on something. It should be, because we expect different individuals from all parts of all corners of the globe visiting our show. So our protocol should be at a level of international compliance. It shouldn't just be a local something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said that Junior only picking up, only choosing calls, and when answering my call, I answer call as you come answer. I don't know who calling. So to believe that I'm just don't want to answer Tamara Isaac call, that is not true. Why would I not want to answer your call? I want to hear from you, right? So probably someone was calling, and at the same time you call. So I can't cut the person off and just take your call. I mean, come on, let's just be logical, people. I mean, just all right. Anyway, listen, guys, I think we got to wrap up here. But Django, definitely thank you for coming in and adding some perspective to this conversation. I appreciate you. What you up to? What you been doing?
Well, I've been doing a lot. I really trying to build my my, how you call it, my, trying to get my foot in the ground and create something that generations after myself will be able to probably continue carry.
Nice.
Yeah. So some folks, I don't want to use the word legacy because I realize all other people using legacy and they fainting on platforms. I don't really want to use the same language, but I'm trying to get my foot in the ground and set something up that generations after myself will be proud of, to say that dad did something that.
That's right, man. Well, you're doing good.
Trying that.
I was in tongue today and somebody asked me for you. They say every time they turn and they see me and you, they're like, where's Django?
Yeah.
Like walking together.
I conjoined twin then.
Yeah, sometimes you're in Grenada, I'm in New York, I'm in somewhere, and you always like walk the street together, like driving the same car.
You understand? Yeah, they don't know. Because when they called me earlier today, I was all the way in on the airport. I was trying to get a sticker for a car, but that didn't happen.
Yeah,
so I have to go back in the morning and try to sort it out. It was deadline and minor things that should be in place. They can't print up there, and I didn't have the insurance with me, so I had to go buy somebody to get it printed, and time pass, and simple things. But we will get there. The police is going to be transformed eventually, so you don't have to rely on pieces of paper to get your sticker for your car. You just do everything electronically, and
that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Django. The folks at Ridealong, they love you.
I've seen that.
Big fan base.
I've seen that.
This is your home, my brother. Thank you so much.
Anytime, my brother. Anytime, man. I'm just a phone call away.
So last minute I call in Django. Oh, are we for it? So Django, like, oh, we are talking about this. And Django said, yeah, no problem. We'll make it happen. So I appreciate that.
Anytime, man. No problem, man. No problem.
Yeah, man. So we keep in touch, yeah?
All right, take care. Bless. Have a good evening. And the viewers.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. Ian Django Thomas again. Always a phone call away, my brother. I never call a guy and he say no. I was like, yo, let's do this. He's there. That's great. All right, guys. So I reckon that we had I was clear on what I'm trying to do, what I'm doing, what will be done, right? And I don't want anybody to leave this discussion thinking that I am asking for any preferential treatment. Let me take this call. Probably that's the person who said I ain't taking their call. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Canada.
Canada, how you doing?
I'm doing very good. What you're saying is very right. I think they need some training. And tell Django I'm in love with him.
Wow. Okay, I'll tell him for you. Thank you. What? Django boy. Django have fans. Yeah. So I don't want nobody to leave this discussion today, this conversation today, thinking that I'm trying to seek any preferential treatment. Guys, I don't want preferential treatment. I'm not asking for preferential treatment. I don't need any kind of protocols at the airport. I come in as everybody see me coming to the airport, just like everybody else. I walk through. I fill out the annoying paper, very annoying paper. I ask somebody for a pen because oftentimes I don't seem to always have a pen, and I don't know why they didn't give you that paper to fill out on the airport. But that's another story. That is for another day. I mean, not on the airport, on the plane. Like, why they don't give you that paper on the plane? Because they give you when you reach, when you walk in, and you don't have a pen and you're thinking you're going straight through, they give you, hey, full of that paper, full of that paper. Anyway, that is for another day. But I'm saying, I walk through like everybody else. I go to the kiosk, I scan my paper, I stand up there, I take the picture. They have like about 12 or 8 to 10 kiosk machine. I take my picture, I get the little printout thing. They say go straight to baggage. I go to baggage, I get my bags. Oftentimes there's a brethren there that'll help me carry my bags. Because me and him have this in and out thing. Like today, he comes in, I say, brethren, I give you $10. And this $10 means that when I come back the next time, I don't have to pay you. So me and the brethren, big up yourself. He know who he is. He helped me out real cool. So big up yourself, the brethren at the airport. So he helped me with my bags. If I don't see him, I just pull my bags and I go through customs. And customs do whatever they want to do. If they feel like they want to send me to the line to get such, do all the thing. But that is where my problem is when customs, certain people in customs want to ask this question that I will never answer. And I would always tell you guys, next time I come there and anybody asks me that question, I would say the same thing because I cannot answer you. Because I don't even know how long I stayed. I don't even know. I come with a one way. I don't know how long I stay in. Secondly, this is my home. This is home, right? And don't assume that you know anything about me. Don't assume that you know, oh, I have an American passport, or I have a Canadian passport, or I have a whatever other passport. Don't assume nothing. Your job was not put there to assume. And oftentimes when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself, right? So don't assume. Take it for what you see in front of you. I hand you a paper. I'm a Grenadian. Something should click in the back of your head to say, he's a Grenadian. He's coming home, right? If you want to look at my bags and say, whoa, you have a lot of bags there, and you want to kind of figure out bags plus times time he's staying, you must have too much bags. If you, however calculation you want to make, and you want to make a determination, make that determination. But I would forever answer your question of how long I stay in with a very strong and might be insulting, might be standoffish, I'm not a disrespectful person, but I will not answer your question because I don't even know the answer to that question. So don't ask that question. And furthermore, Grenadian nationals don't deserve to be asked that question. We come from the cold, come from a lot of hard work. We come from Donald Trump country where it's stress. Every little turn and creek and move you make, you're getting a ticket. Every bill, every day is a bill. You're stressed, your head hurting you. You want to come from that concrete jungle and come home and it's like, you land in beautiful country Grenada. You want to just take all of that stuff in and then you come, how long you staying? Like what that about? What is that about? So that is my point. And funny enough, some people are still going to live here, this conversation, and they'll go make status and they'll be like, Junior, I think want special treatment. You can't argue with stupid. And I don't go and respond to this idiots. Like, sorry to call you an idiot, but it is idiotic when people don't have basic common sense to understand basic basic stuff. That's just basic stuff. That is no brain science. That is no brain science. That is no, you don't have to go to, you don't have to go to college to understand that. That's like kindergarten stuff, like fifth grader stuff. Like, you don't come home with your kids and your family in your home, and then your husband asking you, baby, how long you stayed? You're home. This is my home. This is my home. This is my home. I have every interest here. My family lives here. My business is here. My cars are here. My house is here. My everything is here. I'm vacationing in the United States. Whatever. It's not your business to know my business. Nevertheless, I'm giving you guys an early warning that we're going to make this change. And I'm calling on Forsyth. She's the controller of customs. We already penned the letter. We're sending it out. We already spoke to the relevant authorities to ensure that this question get omitted. Something have to click in their brain when they see Grenada on that passport. Something have to click in their head when they see Grenada on that passport. And that question should not be asked. Ever. We'll continue to follow up, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of our program. I am here. Yeah. And while you're here, guys, we have a special for all returning nationals and locals alike. Everyone gets that discount. It doesn't matter where. On our Ride Tuk-tuk excursion. Yes, Ride Tuk-tuk excursion. You guys know about it, right? This is the, you know something that is really, really, really cool, guys. This Ride Tuk-tuk, we are only the second in the entire region to have tuk-tuks. Like, there are tuk-tuks in Antigua, right? There are tuk-tuks in Antigua, and there are tuk-tuks in Grenada, and that's it. So if you want to come and experience a real nice Grenadian excursion, you know what you got to do? Book your tuk-tuk excursion right here in Grenada. And guys, it's very easy to book. Very, very easy to book that tuk-tuk excursion. In fact, it's the easiest thing. And I'm going to give away some free coupons. I ain't gonna say free. You guys some discount coupons. If you book your excursion tonight, I'll give you a coupon code. So this is the website, guys. You go to ride.gd, ryde.gd. So you see something like this. You scroll down. You see all the services that we provide. You see that? That's all the services that we provide. We provide e-bike excursion. From the top. Okay, so this is what it is, guys. So we provide e-bike, we provide ride water bike, taxi service, guys, taxi tours, tuk-tuk celebration, like you're having a birthday party, whatever, you could have it on the tuk-tuks. You could have a city tour. You could have the Ride the Falls. That way we take you to a really nice waterfall. We take you to Mount Camel, nice tour. We have moonlight tour. That's like in the nighttime, nice love and champagne and all that stuff. E-bike. And that's some of the services that we provide. It is so simple to book your excursion. Say, for instance, you want to book, you're coming on the, okay, let's go book a moonlight tour. So you click on book now and it comes in. Again, the website is ride.gd. And there you go. Book. You check the availability. I want to book for the 10th. There you go. The time. You want to book for 11 o'clock? No problem. Continue. Voila. You want some extra stuff? Adult to adult. No problem. Do you want some extra stuff? Bottle of champagne? Yeah, take a bottle of champagne. You get the total. Let me get it again. Boom, boom. Yes, 2 adults. You get your bottle of champagne. Give me 1 bottle of champagne. You pay to checkout. And you're right there. And voila. You are checking out for your tour. You get your bottle of champagne and you put in your information, you put in your credit card information, and boom, that's it. You're booked. You're booked for your next tuk-tuk, right? It's Ride Excursions and Tours. Again, the website is ride.gd, ride.gd. But we don't only provide tuk-tuk service, guys. We also provide taxi, right? We provide taxi service as well. So if you want to ride, this is our taxi right here is our Noah. We have a fleet of Toyota Noahs. That's it right there. See it? And it takes you anywhere. So this is the Ride taxi. So book your excursion with Ride, airport pickup with Ride. Go to the website right now at ride.gd. That's ride.gd. You could book your excursion and your tours right there. It's very simple. Ride.gd. That's it. Yeah, ride.gd. Or you can call, the number that you can call to book is 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. And we have some exciting news coming for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have some exciting news to announce sometime next week. So the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, exciting news for you coming up, right? I will tell you what it is. Yeah. Ride.gd, ride in style. Book your excursion to airport pickup at ryde.gd. We'll be right back.
Looking for the ultimate island experience? Hop on the Ride Tuk-tuk Rum Punch Tour and explore Grenada like never before. Feel the tropical breeze, sip on authentic Caribbean rum punch, and cruise through Grenada's stunning scenery in our unique and fun tuk-tuks. It's the perfect blend of adventure and island flavor. Book your unforgettable tour now at ride.gd or call 473-422-1011. Don't just see Grenada, experience it with Ride Tuk-tuk Rum Punch Tours today.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up several notches, but the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Yes, guys, visit beacongrenada.com. Check it out, beacongrenada.com. Hey, guys, if you have a business, right? You have a business and you want to let the world know, you want to send your business viral. It might be a small business. It might be a micro business. It might be a micro business. It might be so small that nobody don't even know. Probably just you and your family, right? Probably just you and your family that know about the business. Or you have a business idea you want to put out there. You want to expose and send your business viral. No better way to get your word out than to advertise right here on Ridealong Live. Give us a call because it pays to advertise on Ridealong Live. Advertise on Ridealong Live. Here's the information.
Are you looking to take your business or event to the next level? Advertise on Ridealong Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ridealong Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to get started.
Contact us today to get started. Ridealong Live. The number is 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. And the offer still stands, guys, for the folks who want to book a tuk-tuk tour or a taxi tour with Ride. If you're coming in on the airport and you want to get picked up in style, with our fleet of Toyota Noahs, the most comfortable way to get out, give us a call. It's ride.gd. That's RYDE.gd. Website right here. Book a taxi tour with Ride. So much things, man. So much things. So many things. Lord of mercy.
Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bring hope with such ease. Ride along, ride along.
Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for being a part of our program. We appreciate you as always. Join us tomorrow for more information, entertainment, and great conversation here on The Ride. All right? Catch you guys again. Good night.
Taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along the dance. Let's sing the song. From Island Strong with the host, we belong.